He won't be caught dead playing roads and boats. When people make him mad, he wants to punch him in the throats. Not the kind of grumpy, but he's also...
Hey folks, welcome back to my third to last installment of my top 100 games of all time. Yes, this one's going to be numbers 30 through 21, and I want to thank all of you for joining me on this journey of listing all these games. Haven't done it in a couple of years, and it's been a lot. If it seems like I'm frowning, I'm really not. The sun is right in my eyes, so I can get the perfect lighting that I could possibly get. And so because of that, I might look like I'm squinting or frowning. I'm really not. I'm in a great mood. I'm having great weather. It's a little warm, especially for November, but I'm enjoying myself. So hey, without further ado, let's get to numbers 30 through 21. All right, so my number 30 is brand new to the list. It was not even in existence back in 2014, but it is called Commissioned. This is what I'm calling a new era of Christian board games, where they're taking modern design concepts and they are putting a Christian theme around them, whereas what it used to be is that Christians would just wrap a theme over some boring old mechanic and then sell it to people, and they'd buy it because it's really the only Christian board game that was on the market, and there were just a few of them out there. Well, people are starting to kind of pick up on that. Nehemiah was one that's already been on my list. That's a modern concept of board gaming that has a very deep and rich Christian theme around it, because instead of spreading or trying to keep a virus from spreading in pandemic, here you're trying to spread the word of the gospel and the teachings of Christ throughout the biblical world. It's a really cool concept of a game, and it's a good Christian game that doesn't feel old and busted and beaten and just tired. So I really can't recommend this game more than I possibly can for Christians especially, but it also provides a good view of biblical history as well for all those who may be non-believers. So if you have the opportunity, check out Commissioned, my number 30. Now, my number 29 is from Cool Mini or Not, and it's called Rum and Bones. It's a really cool pirate-themed game, a lot of dice chucking, a lot of special abilities, a lot of swashbuckling action, and it's a really neat game. It has this really cool idea of having two ships that are coming alongside each other, and the different crews are battling over each other, and it's just really neat, trying to destroy the other person's ship. The models are really neat. It has little miniatures in it, and the game is actually really good as well. Now, the thing with this is that Second Tide is coming out, so I'm assuming, I'm kind of projecting that Second Tide is going to replace the base game that I'm showing here of Rum and Bones, because they've gone through and they've made some streamlines of the rules, and they've cleaned a lot of things up that just didn't quite make a lot of sense in the first one, mainly with multiplayer games and that type of thing. So I have played Second Tide, and it is just as good, if not better, than the base game. So I'm confident that it will replace the base game the next time I do this list. But my number 29, Rum and Bones. Now, my number 28 is a game that has kind of flown under the radar for a very long time, and it's a game that was designed by Richard Lanius. It's a dice game, and it's a zombie game. It's called Run, Fight, or Die. Now, this is a really interesting thing where you have a board in front of you, and the board has different zones. And of course, the zombies start in the furthest zone out, but they're going to slowly creep forward, and you have to take them out, otherwise they're going to do damage to you. And it's just a really neat mechanism of zombies, rolling dice, using special abilities, using special combos that will come up on the dice. Just a lot of fun. Had a great time, and still have a great time with this game. My number 28, Run, Fight, or Die. Now, my number 27 is a game that we've played a lot on live games, live playthroughs, and all that kind of stuff, and it's called Sheriff of Nottingham. Now, I don't include this on my list because it's a game that is a dice tower essential, and Tom has a lot of stock. No, I'm not including it that way. I'm including it simply because I really do enjoy the game. It's a great time, and I really enjoy it a lot. So that is Sheriff of Nottingham. Basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get as many of your goods through the guard post that the sheriff has set up for the town, so that you can go and sell and make money, but you're also trying to get in some of the more higher end contraband items, and he's not having any of that. So you have to stuff your bag and then give it to him for possible perusal. Of course, you're asking him not to do that, but it's a great time. We always have a good time playing this one. Sheriff of Nottingham, my number 27. My number 26 is a game that has fallen. Now, it's only fallen 22 spaces from number 4 to landing on number 26, and I suspect that this is probably where it's going to find its home on any further list that I do after this. But Battlestar Galactica is a game that I really do enjoy a lot. The main reason, and I'm being very, very honest here, the one reason that this has fallen 22 spaces is because I just don't play it enough. That's not a cop-out. I just don't get to play it as much as I can. And it seems like every time, like at a convention or something to that effect, where somebody asks me to play Battlestar Galactica, I'm always doing something else and I can't pull myself away from it. It just happened at BGG Con. A guy walked by our booth. I was manning our booth, and he had a Players Wanted and Battlestar Galactica box, and he was walking by, "Hey Sam, you want to play this?" And I said, "I can. I'm working my booth right now." So it just so happens that keeps coming up. Now, I will play this game. I love playing it. It's one of my favorite social deduction, not really social deduction, but there's a lot of social deduction in it, because you're trying to surmise whether or not the person that's telling you that they are not a Cylon, if they're telling you the truth or not, and you're trying to do that based on the actions that they've played and the cards that have come up and the reveal, and there's just so much cool stuff to it. It's one of the few games that I really do enjoy having just the screen captures from the TV show on it. I really enjoy that a lot. It provides for a good, I guess you could say, thematic immersion. But if you haven't seen the TV show, you don't need that. It's still a great game without of it. So my number 26 is a game that I still enjoy, even though it has slipped 22 spaces, Battlestar Galactica. My number 25 is a game that has just been made, and that should tell you a little bit about why I like it so much. It is a successor to Star Realms, and it's called Hero Realms from White Wizard Games. Now, I like this better than Star Realms because of the character packs that come separately. You have to purchase them separately. So as the base game, Hero Realms is probably right around the same level as Star Realms as far as how much I like it. But with the character packs, it far exceeds Star Realms, in my opinion, and I really enjoy how those extra character packs are able to push the theme even further down the road. So Hero Realms is a game that I've been playing a lot. Played it probably about 5 or 6 times at the booth at BGG Con. Really enjoy playing Hero Realms. Can't say enough about this one. If you have the opportunity, give it a try. Pick up the character packs that are separate. I know they're separate. I wish they weren't, but they are. Pick them up as well. Hero Realms is a great game, my number 25. Now, my number 24 is also a game that I played a lot at the booth at BGG Con, because we had a table. We were only using about half a table, and so this was a really fast 2-player game that I could teach to people. Usually it was people that were working the booth with me. I played with Mark Street from Board Game Corner. I played with Derek, our audio guy. So I just played it with a number of different people. People were coming by watching it. Hanami Koji is a fast up-and-comer, especially for those of you who really enjoy 2-player games. It is a card game. It's very fast, fun. You have 4, what do you call them? You have 4 actions that you have to do on your turn. You can do them in any order that you want, but you have to do them. And those actions are so excruciatingly difficult sometimes to decide on what you're going to do, what you're not going to do. It's a very small, light game, but it packs a lot of tension and decision making into it. Hanami Koji, it's coming out, it's being distributed now by Quick Simple Fun Games, and they should have it out to distributors pretty soon, so keep your eye open for that. Hanami Koji from Quick Simple Fun Games and Emperor S4. My number 24. My number 23 is a new Essen game, and it's not really a new game because it is a re-implementation of Carcassonne, and this one is called Amazonas. Now, Carcassonne Amazonas just came out at Essen. It's brand spanking new, but it's a placeholder, so to speak, for Carcassonne as a whole. Now, this is my favorite iteration of Carcassonne, if I can put it that way. In other words, this is the one that I would rather play if I'm going to play Carcassonne, because it also enters into this new racing mechanism for the Carcassonne system. It still plays basically the same, where you have to take a tile and place it on the board where it fits, where it is adjacent to at least one other tile, and the two sides match. But there is a new racing mechanism where you're racing down the Amazon, and the person who is in first place gets the most points, and the people in second place get so many points, and so forth and so on whenever those are scored. And it's scored multiple times during the game. So it just provides a really neat twist. It's my favorite of the Around the World series so far, and it's my preferred way of playing Carcassonne. So that is my number 23, Carcassonne Amazonas. My number 22 is a game that I've played a lot in the past, and I love it whenever it hits the table in the present and in the future. And it's from Plaid Hat Games by Emerson Matsuuchi, and it's called Spectre Ops. This is a really fun game where it is one person against the rest. The one person is taking on the role of a spy that is infiltrating a company to gather pieces of information, or maybe even set up bombs or something to that effect. There's a number of different things that it could be. But everybody else takes the role of the guardians of the company, the security team that's been hired to keep that spy out or to catch the spy. And it's a hidden movement game where the spy is putting his actions behind a board. All of the other people can be seen, however. And it's just a really fun, neat theme as well. Has a very similar theme to something like Letters from Whitechapel, or something to that effect, where it's you're trying to corner this one person and catch him before he escapes. But it has a really cool sci-fi theme on it, which makes it cooler for me. So that is my number 22, Spectre Ops. And finally, my number 21 for this list has actually risen on my list this year. It's at 21 now. It was at 44 2 years ago. And I think it's simply because Seven Wonders has really shown in a number of different kinds of situations. I've played it with my students in class on free days when I was still teaching at high school. I've played it in youth group. I've played it at home with my family. I've played it with gamers. I've played it with a number of different people. And while I still don't think that it is an innovative mechanic, it is a very solid, evergreen type of game that is really showing me its staying power now. Hence, the reason it has come up about 23 spots. So it was 44, now it's 21, and I think it's finding its niche very solidly in that around the 20 area. That is Seven Wonders. And that's it for my 30 through 21. I thank you for staying with me through all of this. I hope that this has been an enjoyable list. And hey, we're getting to the absolute creme de la creme. That's probably not even the right saying. The absolute cream of the crop. My top 20 coming up after this in 2 more segments. So hang with me. We're almost there. We'll see you guys on the flip side.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.